So when you've got a fraction that is not going to give you these nice numbers where you've got hundredths on the bottom, how do you turn those into percentage then? Well, if we had 1/6, we would actually have to change it into its equivalent decimal. Think of the top number as being sweets and the bottom number as being people. We got 1 sweet and 6 people, nobody gets a sweet, and there's 1 sweet left over. The new number is now 6. 6 is into 10, go 1 time, 4 left over. 6 is into 40, goes 6 times and 4 left over, and we're getting a repeating pattern. So this as a decimal, 1/6 as a decimal, will be 0.166666666. Now to change a decimal number into a percentage is super easy. We just move the decimal point 2 places backwards, because we're multiplying by 100, which would give us the decimal 16.66666. Often when we're talking about percentages, we don't use parts of percentage. So now we know where we need to chop. We need a full percentage here, please. So we don't want any numbers after the decimal point. We chop just at the decimal point. Look at the number behind. This is a 5 or higher. So this will give us a percentage of 17%, approximately. And how do we show in maths that we mean not exactly? This is the exact number, the 16.66666 recurring, but the approximate number is we put in a little swirly equal sign like that. And that means approximately 17%. And it's more suitable to answer percentage in whole numbers than to have 16.66666. So what will we do with the number 2/7? Well, we divide 2 by 7, and that gives us a really long number that goes on forever and ever with lots of different numbers. Dividing by 7 sort of gives you these numbers that aren't as recurring as they are when you're dividing by 3s and 6s. They just go on and on forever. So what would we do? Well, we'd multiply it by 100, we'd move the decimal point 2 places. So we would have the decimal 28.5 to 1 decimal place. We want to chop here to get a whole percentage. Look at the number behind, it's a 5. So this would approximate to 29%. If the number behind is 5 or above, the number where we're going to chop goes up 1. Okay? If it's 0 to 4, nothing happens with that number and it would stay as an 8. What then about 1/11? Same mechanism. This will give us 0.0909. So what we've got here is we've got 09 as repeating. The way that we show that in maths is we actually draw a line over the 0 and the 9. That means it goes on and on forever as 09, 09, 09. You show the starting number of the sequence and the ending number of the sequence. Well, to change that into a percentage, we would multiply by 100 to give us 9.09% to 2 decimal places. We would like to change that to no decimal places. We look at the number after where we're going to chop. After the decimal point, there's a 0 there. So nothing happens with the 9, giving us that it's approximately 9%. So it's important that you can use your mechanisms of rounding off, rounding up, or rounding down with percentages as well, and try and answer to whole percentages, unless the question wants very exact number of percentage. Try and answer to whole percent.